All right, Paul Miller and Tom Davis here with you. Game 2, Knights victorious in game number 1, 7-0 behind Wyatt Kozer's complete game shutout. And I got to tell you, Tom, that was one of the most impressive Knights pitching performances I've ever seen. 12 strikeouts.
It's definitely the best single pitching performance I've seen.
So we're going to be here with you on a drizzly Friday afternoon, just before 4 o'clock, 52 degrees, as the Knights look to go 6-10 with a doubleheader sweep here against Williamson Trade. And Park will be behind the plate today, this afternoon.
Tight spin on that warm-up pitch. Looked good.
Okay, we are going to, this is Jordan Spadafore, has 1 appearance on the season, 2 1/3 innings pitched with 3 earned runs and 3 strikeouts. What's Spadafore got today? He's going to lead off with an inside fastball. 3:54 first pitch. 52 degrees here from FNB Field, home of the Harrisburg Senators.
Only if you trust that scoreboard, though.
Yeah, when the sun goes in, it definitely cools off considerably.
1-1 count.
Spadafore, looks like he got the
Caught a piece
bat.
of the bat. That'll be a foul ball.
That's probably the worst way to get a foul tip. Not even offering it the pitch.
They put it on the scoreboard as a ball. So I don't know what the actual call was.
I mean, he definitely caught the
He definitely hit the
bat.
Yep, 1 and 2.
Umpire corrects the scoreboard 1-2 because of that foul tip behind him. And he gets him swinging.
What?
I think they're trying to move the game along.
I think so.
To get this game in because we did receive some word that it's not so much how the weather is, it's how the field will hold up. Spoke to, looks like a nice play to Boyer for a third. He's going to get that out. So we've got
2 outs.
Mercado, Montero, Boyer, Wise, Davis, Finke, Stevens, Park, and Fulton with Spadafore on the mound and quickly 2 down. So what we were saying was in some of the conversations that we'd had with some of the Senators officials, it's just more how the field holds up with this. I mean, I wouldn't even call
the
this
accumulation of the water and all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this a sprinkle. I mean, it's definitely not raining. This is going to be off camera.
Nice catch.
Boyer comes up with an acrobatic play off of the screen, and that's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning here for the Knights. We're just going to stay here with you throughout these breaks because I can already tell you that Coach Stern is trying to get his guys back onto the field as quickly as possible so we can try to get this game in. It would stand to reason, Tom, that 5 innings would be enough here to have an official game with a 7-inning contest. So if the Knights can even get through 5 here with the lead, that could do the trick. So again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, the grounds crew put some of that quick dry around in the plate and on the mound and a little bit around the bases. And the stuff around the bases is almost covered already.
Central Penn ladies who lead. Are you ready to shatter the glass ceiling? Register now for our 2023 Women's Leadership Retreat on April 28th through the 30th at Camp Hebron in Halifax. Activities, speakers, workshops, and more. This memorable ladies-only annual event is not to be missed. Register for free at givebudder.com/CPCLead23 or by emailing Adrian Thoman at centralpenn.edu. And flashing forward to next term, Adrian, we just recorded a podcast previewing that, and she goes into a great amount of detail about what the Women's Leadership Retreat means to her, and really putting it out there, hoping that she can get some numerous people to attend the retreat. So again, you've got Mercado, Montero, Boyer, Wise, Kevon Davis, Hunter Finke, we saw at first base with that last putout, Ryan Stevens, Park, the catcher, and Fulton for the lineup today. So interested to see what Mercado's got. Mercado, I don't believe that we've seen play. He's 0 for 4 on the season, does have a stolen base. So we shall see what Mercado's got. There's some cheerleaders here. Fantastic. We love when Knights fans come out in full force. One thing I didn't have the opportunity to do in the last game is I wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule. Again, we will have a doubleheader on Tuesday at In the Net, morning baseball, and then we'll be back here on the 18th, Tuesday, for a 3 and 5 o'clock against Christendom, and community night will be April 21st, Friday at 5.
Ooh. That get hammered about.
Not sure what that actually hit. Mercado did get into the last game, relieving Zell.
Must have just hit the catcher's mitt.
That was an odd sound to just be hitting the mitt.
It was.
Actually, to be honest with you, Tom, the first time we have not seen Zell in a game, so it seems to be a point that Stern wanted to get all of his guys in the lineup here at FNB Field. Mercado fisted out of play, and that's going to drop. Paul Miller and Tom Davis here for the Nightly News Media Club. Again, we'll see you back at In the Net on Tuesday morning. Looking forward to that one. And then we'll be back here with you 2 weeks later for an April 18th contest in the afternoon.
Here comes the 2-1. Leaves that up there.
The wind is calmed, it's lightening up a little bit, and looks like the rain has ceased for the time being. Threw it behind
Gets
him.
behind the runner.
And the walk. Montero steps in.
So Leonard Danson off first. Let's see if any of the habits from game 1 carry over to game 2. He does show bunt at the plate.
Yeah, we were talking about that last game, Tom. We were really surprised with the way the Knights ran in the first game.
Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder what the scouting report is on this pitcher and catcher combination.
And the runner goes.
He's got it stolen.
And he's into center field.
Makes the
Mercado's
decision to
got
go
a
to third.
shot. And it goes.
Wisely holds up the third base there.
Got a wonderful cheering section here for the Knights.
I don't know if it's a section. I think all of that's coming from one person. First pitch is in the dirt. Gets far enough away. Pitcher covers. They're not going to get a play at first.
A wild pitch. Scores Mercado. Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at the pitcher.
First pitch, way outside again.
No stats for the pitcher, so unfortunately don't have a name for him, so I apologize.
Number 35.
We can only work with the information that we have, and unfortunately they did not have stats.
A little bit of a breaking ball dancing around there. But
updated stats on the website.
Don't help now, let's go.
So 3-1 count, run in already. Not reflected on the scoreboard, but we did score one, folks.
Montero hacks.
Let's go.
And the Knights get off to that early lead. And Montero, the chopper, this is going to be an impossible play.
That looked like field conditions might have played on that ball.
Even if he would have come up with that ball at short, he never would have gotten Montero, who's got otherworldly speed.
That ball did not come off the ground as high as he thought it was going to. Kind of ball just kind of stayed down.
You know, plays like that, and honestly, a couple of plays in the first game for Williamson Trade, I just go back to my Little League days, and if I would have tried to field a ball like that, I would have been running laps. Because you're taught to get in front of the ball, and that's the second time, whether it was, I'm not sure if it's the same shortstop between both games, just try to backhand it instead of trying to get in front of the ball. And made errors on both plays.
Right.
Although
I wonder if he did that because he knew the speed of the runner going to first. But you got to make that play. Pitch is elevated.
Boyer steps in. Certainly our team leader, 32 at-bats and 10 hits. He's got a .313 average with a home run and 9 RBIs, 7 steal, and a .425 on-base percentage. So pretty good numbers. And there goes Montero. Almost looked like a pitch out.
An unintentional pitch out. I think that ball just kind of spun out of his hand into the third base side batter's box.
Like to see Boyer get a chance to swing. Another high pitch here. And already massive struggles for number 35 for Williamson Trade. Again, Stern trying to get guys to stay in the box just so we can try to get this game in. Again, we're thinking here 5 innings should do it in a 7-inning contest.
Well, that's ball 4, so Boyer will take first base.
And this is very similar to the way
Time is called. The coach is going to take a stroll to the mound here and talk to his pitcher.
Very similar to the way in the first game, in the first inning, he went out and then left his guy in. And I got to tell you,
I think we're seeing a pitching change. No? No, I guess not. Thought they were going to... I think he may be concerned about the mound.
So the head coach for Williamson Trade. We're going to go to Wise here.
The game will continue.
Wise, a single and an RBI. 2 singles and a walk. Did score a run and stole a base. Had a great game in his own right. And what can Wise do here? With first and second, no one out. At least he gets a good pitch to hit.
That pitch looked like it was going to find the zone.
But Wise fouls it straight back. So what's it mean to have a guy like Wise in the 4-hole that can just make amazing contact and has some power and speed too?
Well, you want him in this kind of situation, right? 2 runners on base.
Behind
I
Wise.
think it's going to be a matter of them actually getting some pitches to hit, though.
Here's a second question. How do you feel when you're in the box with someone who cannot control where their pitches are going? What is that? How does that mess with your psyche?
I think he'd be a lot more psyched out if this pitcher was carrying more velocity. You know,
like when you see Kozer get a little,
right.
Wild. And Wise, another foul straight back.
But not knowing anything about this pitcher, I'm not sure if that was his fastball or his changeup.
I'm going to go with fastball on that one, just based on what we've seen thus far. And our apologies. I apologize that this was not updated on the website. He has not appeared in a game that there are statistics for. So our apologies that we cannot give you a name. And there's a shot off a curveball, and that's going to get down and boots it.
All the way past the center
And
fielder.
that's going to roll to the wall. Wise has a legitimate chance at an inside the park home run.
Everybody.
And he's waving him. And he's getting down. And it is an inside the park home run for Wise. 3-run score for the Knights.
3 runs in the first inning. Still no one down in the inning either, Paul.
What a play by Wise. And that just goes to talk about exactly what we were just literally saying a minute ago. He's got power, speed, and got a pitch to hit.
Yep.
Drove it to center and got past the center fielder. And gosh, that is super demoralizing, because if he could have just kept it in front of him, the runners hadn't moved. So it at worst would have been bases loaded. But again, errors will kill ya. That looks like his fastball there high to Kevon Davis.
He takes that first one if it is.
Davis still looking for his first hit. Again, we didn't get stats for the last game, but Davis, at least coming into their last doubleheader, had yet to have a hit on the season. Of course, Kevon, one of our producers for the Nightly News basketball broadcasts.
Here comes the 2-0. Another ball outside. Easy take for Key.
And this pitcher is really struggling. 4-0.
Is it 4-0 or 3-0?
It's 4-0. This is batter number 5, and the bases are clear. Remember, Mercado scored on the wild pitch. And Wise drove in Montero and Boyer and himself with an inside the park home run.
Now Key takes the walk, so once again, a runner on first.
Davis with the walk. Finke steps in.
Big at bat here for Finke. Takes a. I'm just going to call that a straight ball down the middle.
4-0 Knights. And Finke almost takes out Coach Stern down a third baseline.
That fastball had a little bit of two-seam run to it in on his hands there. Looked like one of the better pitches.
Baseball. Piece of baseball. I got two up there. Over there.
Ball got out onto the field.
I think he'll stand back in the box here.
Still no one out here.
Looking at an 0-2 count with runner on first. Runner
And
takes off.
Davis runs, and he is safe. And Davis collects his first steal of the game.
So the Knights very quickly have another runner in scoring position with no outs here in this bottom of the first inning.
And Finke still looking for his first hit of the year.
Takes a big swing and a miss at a hanging curveball.
At least one down.
27, Ryan Stevens.
And that brings up Stevens.
Did not play in game one, if I remember.
Stevens 167 on the year, no home runs, 3 RBIs, 5 hits in 30 at-bats. So definitely Stevens looking to get on the score sheet here. Yes, to your point, didn't play in the first game. But again, I think this whole entire lineup here, other than Wise, did not play in the first game, at least start. Of course, Montero did get an at-bat and scored a run.
Fastball outside. Moves the count to 2-0 on Stevens.
And I would say that this is past sort of the point of no return here with only one out and a runner on. If this pitcher cannot get someone out, they're going to have to pull the plug.
Floats a float ball in there.
Come on.
First base coach reminded him to stay back.
It's going to be low. The slider down.
It'll be a 3-1 count. Stevens looking for something he can handle here. Gets one.
Kevon goes back to first, or excuse me, back to second. They do get the second out on Stevens on the 5-3 putout.
Brady Park.
And Brady Park, one of the catchers on the team, 1 for 7 on this young season, hitting 125. Certainly here would be a great time for a base hit with Davis on second and a 4-0 lead.
And Davis will be off on contact with 2 outs, so a hit anywhere means he's likely to score.
Probably one of the better pitches we've seen from Williamson Trade. The curveball catches the inside corner. And he takes the exact same thing, and there it goes, and Davis is coming home.
Being waved.
And they got him. And Davis thrown out at home, but that's not before the Knights pick up 4 runs on 3 hits, and that will take us to the top of the second inning. Knights lead 4-0. The CPC Film Series returns for the spring term on Friday, May 19th, as Nightly News Hall of Famer Brian Christiana presents the film V for Vendetta. The Student Government Association will be sponsoring the event with popcorn, drinks, and movie-themed snacks available for donation to support the club. Put May 19th on your calendar now and make plans to come out for this free event. Both of us sitting here have been a part of the Nightly News, the CPC Film Series, so very interesting to get to talk a bit more about that. Tell us a little bit more about your experience with the film series, Tom.
Well, I always had fun with the film series, especially with the choice of movies that I make. I think you chose one comedy movie for one of your with The Big Lebowski.
Yes, sir.
I've gone with 2 comedy movies, so I'm 2 for 2 in that regard.
Well, I have done it twice, technically 3 times. During COVID, we kept the film series going when I premiered my documentary, The Final Out, about the 2020 Knights baseball season. Unfortunately, canceled all too soon after a 7-1 start. Arguably the most talent top to bottom that the Knights have ever seen, and unfortunately, never got to play out that season. I did also The Big Lebowski, and then a couple springs ago, I did A League of Their Own, which we were actually supposed to do spring of 2020,
yes.
Which of course never ultimately happened. But Tom, I do appreciate your willingness to do this, and I'm sure we'll see you again sometime in the very near future.
Certainly.
We're going to go to the top of the second here. Knights lead by 4.
Now batting, number 15, Joe Kelly.
Kelly made an unbelievable double play in the first game where he caught you're going to have to go back and watch the replay, but where he caught a bunt.
First pitch is taken for a strike.
And then ran out to second for the unassisted double play. Probably one of the better plays I've gotten to see in my broadcast time. So give him all the credit in the world there. Spadafore is looking good here on the mound, although...
Close pitch there. Could have gone either way. 1-1 count.
And the 1-1.
Had a little bit of late break to it. Looked like a curveball.
2-1. Knights lead 4-0 behind 2 errors for Williamson Trade in the first.
Here comes the 2-1. Called strike on the inside corner. Batter did not agree with that call.
6:05.
And the pitch. Down, that'll run the count full.
Another breaking ball. Good movement on it, but it just kind of started too low and then finished lower.
The full count pitch. Can Spadafore get him out here? Beautiful strike 3 for Spadafore.
He really worked both sides of the plate.
Now batting, number 18, Christian Nas.
3 strikeouts here already in the first 4 batters.
Ready with the first pitch.
Just off the plate. That's a really tough call there, Tom.
Very much so.
Didn't get that call in the first pitch, but the 1-0. And that's going to be a tough play for Wise, but somehow makes it. What a cannon
Bang,
from
bang,
Wise.
play at first, but he got him. Looked like he had a little something extra on that throw.
Well, he sort of got caught in between on the infield grass. I guess the wetness kind of slowed the ball down, so he wasn't sure if he wanted to charge or let it come to him, and
Right.
he made the right decision.
So 2 away. Knights up 4-0. Again, we're in the top of the second.
This is DeRosa.
Nice pitch. Gets the call on the outside corner there. Good frame job by Clark.
DeRosa hitting .412 this year. We talked about him a little bit in the first contest. Big cut. Comes up empty.
Looked like he pulled the string on him there.
DeRosa did walk and steal in game 1, but not really much was happening with Kozer on the mound.
And try working the outside corner again.
High and outside. That almost looked like a sort of a waste pitch.
Looks like
at
the
0-2.
pitcher and catcher really have a game plan for how they want to work. Wants the ball down here. Got it down. A breaking ball. Just get him to roll over to first, and that's that.
Think he got him. It was a close play, but nonetheless, that's going to retire the side. Spadafore looks fantastic thus far, and the Knights still lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the second.
Hey, Central Penn College fans. Rest easy knowing the experts at Select Physical Therapy are on the sidelines, ready to help you and your team in times of need. With convenient locations nearby, getting back in the action is close to home. Go to selectphysicaltherapy.com to find a location near you and start your journey to recovery. Go Knights!
Speaking from 2 people who are actively in physical therapy, we can speak to how wonderful physical therapy can be if you have the right folks.
I even have a dog that's getting physical therapy right now. We're a physical therapy family.
All right, we're going to take just a short break while Williamson Trade gets ready for this inning, and we'll be right back. Gonna head to the bottom of the second as Fulton steps in. Park hit that big single. Unfortunately, Kevon Davis got gunned down at the plate with a fantastic throw from Williamson Trade.
That's the luxury of having a 4-run lead, too. You send Davis there. You know, you take the chance. He gets out. No big deal.
Way outside.
Pitcher's mechanics seemed entirely out of whack on that one delivery.
Big cut from Fulton. Pardon me. The 1-1.
Curveball in the dirt.
And Fulton on the season. Still looking for his first hit. And the fastball catches the outside corner. Almost like the rope-a-dope there. Lulling him to death with off-speed pitches.
And then he dotted a fastball there on the outside. But what's he going to throw him now?
I mean, I would imagine he's got to throw him a fastball.
Nope, there's the curveball. Ready with the 2-2.
There's that fastball, and it's popped straight up.
Pitcher makes the catch himself.
That's always the toughest play for a pitcher because, frankly, a pitcher really shouldn't be fielding his own position in that case. That should be the shortstop's ball. But I suppose it's a situation where if you know your infield good enough. And fastball inside of Mercado. Mercado walked, stole a base, and scored on a wild pitch.
Fastball down and in, too low. I'm getting really. I might want to invest in a radar gun and start bringing to the park myself.
I'd seen last year when we were in the net, some of the opposing teams had almost like a smaller than a cell phone radar gun. It wasn't like a radar gun like we know now. Who knows what the accuracy level is, but
Right. And who knows what's out there today in terms of options.
and a strike for Mercado.
Had to make him bring it there, 3-0.
The 3-1, one down here in the bottom of the second. And Mercado walks. This is how sort of the last inning got started, with a walk, though the Knights do already have one out in the inning for Montero,
That brings Jafrandi up, I believe.
who singled and stole a base back in the first before scoring a run due to Wise's inside the park home run. That might be one of the most exciting plays I've seen.
First baseman really keeping the runner at first close. He was almost standing in foul territory.
Well, Mercado's obviously got some speed. He only has one steal coming in today. Of course, had a steal in the first. But he's got, I'll tell you what, the Knights are not lacking in speed, that's for sure.
Williamson Trade is very much aware of that.
There's a difference, though, between being aware of it and being able to stop it.
Oh, I mean,
which
that's why the throw over again.
And there he goes. He's going to get the strike call, but Mercado again. Literally almost a replay of the first inning when the ball got into center and Mercado took third, but a steal nonetheless. That's two already today and a run with no official at-bats. Looked like Mercado was going to break again, but did not.
Bluffed going to third there.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom 2. Knights lead 4-0.
And with him in a scoring position, it won't take much to bring him in there.
Again, bluffed Montero out of play, but did get some. Montero, I will say, has got some good aluminum on
I was
a
just
couple
gonna
balls
say,
today.
It never quite sounds as poetic when you say he got some good aluminum on it. But he did nonetheless.
I will say baseball is full of cliches. I mean, there's no question about that.
Life is full of cliches.
Indeed. Just off the plate.
Good eye to lay off that.
Thought he had that slider across, but either way, the 3-2. And again, a different ump here, so that might, I would say in the first game, the ump strike zone was rather loose.
Bluffs the daylight play, goes back to short. And there's another walk. We've seen a lot of those.
That would be walk number 5.
Zach Boyer.
And Boyer's got first and second, only 1 out, with Wise on deck.
Go, Boyer.
And the pitch, just outside.
Go, Boyer.
Well, it actually, all said and done, didn't turn out to be such a bad day. It was a little rainy, a little chilly, but not a bad day for baseball.
No, it was still in the 50s. So had it dropped down to the low 40s into the 30s, we'd be telling a different story.
And the pitch, Boyer into the dugout. Looks like everyone's all right down there. Hit the net, but it was very close to squeezing in that dugout. Boyer
And you
smiles.
should not have mentioned the rain because as you said that, the drops have started to return.
We'll get there. Looks like we will get this game in, hopefully, unless something out of the ordinary happens. The pitch. Boyer strokes it down the line. That's going to be fair. Here comes Mercado. Montero is going to be waved. Boyer is going for third. And a triple knocks in two.
Stand-up triple. Couldn't have placed that any better. Frozen rope down the right field line. It found its way all the way into the corner.
And now Wise a runner in scoring position as the Knights are up 6-0. And Wise hit that unbelievable inside the park home run back in the first and has a chance to drive in more.
Umpire signals to the pitcher there that yes, indeed, that was a little off the outside. Really wanted that call.
And that will be outside as well. The pitch outside gets away from the catcher.
That was the old 58-footer there.
You know, speaking of opening day, I actually saw in the same game 2 catcher interference when the glove got in the way of the swing on 2 different occasions. I believe it was in the Rockies game. That's not something you see too often.
It isn't.
Especially in a major league game.
I did see that a few times last year, too. When it happens, it seems like it happens more than once in the same game.
Way outside, and that'll walk Wise.
Okay, come on, Davis.
It's going to bring up Kevon Davis. Did
Now
reach
batting,
base.
number 2.
Still looking for that first hit.
Kevon Davis.
Come on, Bud.
Well, if he gets a pitch to drive here, let's look for it.
Davis, it's going to be tough. Is it going to get down? And that's just foul.
That was a great one.
Just a few feet away from more runs for the Knights.
Davis thought for sure he had his first hit of the season. 6-0 on a Wise inside the park home run and a Boyer 2-run triple.
Now Key's going to look for his pitch.
I would be shocked if Wise doesn't go here.
Big swing, just couldn't catch up to that one.
Wait for your
He definitely tried to moiter that ball, though.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. We're Paul Miller and Tom Davis for the Nightly News. And there goes Wise. And Davis hits him. So Davis now on base for the second time.
And the bases are loaded.
Now batting, 58, Hunter Finke.
And Finke struck out back in the first, but has an opportunity here to break this game wide open.
got this, Hunter. No pressure.
Ready for the first pitch.
I'm going to have to ask Kevon about that, but gosh, he didn't make a very good effort to get out of the way of that pitch, did he?
No, I think he was willing to take it because it was a curveball.
Well, and there's not really much he could have done there. He got hit in the middle
He
of
could
the
have jumped
back.
forward, but I think if you're him, you're like, I'm getting on base if that hits me. So Finke quickly in the hole 0-2.
So 2 of the captains, Finke and Stevens, with the bases loaded, will have the chance to knock in some more runs and break this game open. And there's Finke, and it's going to deep left. It's foul.
Just foul.
I know that was off screen, and I apologize, but just foul by about 2 feet. That
squared
would have
that
cleared the
He
bases.
squared that one up. He got that good.
Now Finke's got a good read on the pitcher, but does have 2 strikes.
And if I'm this pitcher, I stay away from the inner third of the plate to Finke.
It's okay, Hunter.
I pound him outside all day.
The pitch, and there's a curveball. It gets away from the catcher, but Boyer holds. bottom 2. 1 down for Finke with the bases loaded. 6 runs already in for the Knights as they're looking for another doubleheader sweep. Outside runs the count to 2-2.
Like to see some patience here. Finke taking a couple pitches here. Try to work himself into a good hitter's count after falling behind 0-2.
The 2-2. Outside. Full. And Tom, as you're known to say, nowhere to put him.
Nowhere to put him.
The full count, and that's skied.
Right back our way, but that will stay in play.
Nice play by the catcher just off screen. And 2 down for Stevens.
And that was a big second out in this inning, Paul.
I would say.
So it's up to
Now
Stevens.
batting, 27, Ryan Stevens.
Again, 3 ducks out there on
The pitch outside. Stevens gets ahead in the count. A base hit should score at least 1 here. That's going to be down and away.
Catcher does a good job of keeping that ball in front of him, or that's easily a run in it from third.
We've already seen 1 Knight score on a wild pitch today. Mercado back in the first. Again outside, and that's getting away, but Boyer broke back to third. I think he may have been able to score there, but again, bases loaded, 3-0 count. You don't want to make the third out at home.
Right, with the bases loaded, yep.
The 3-0. Taken all the way. Stevens takes the first strike.
So the ball is really in Stevens' court here. If it's good, nope. Takes the base, and that will force in another run.
And credit Stevens with the RBI. I always thought it was interesting that you got an RBI for a walk, but I guess it makes sense.
If a walk is as indeed as good as a hit.
Number 7, Brady Park.
Park back in the first actually hit a really nice single. Kevon Davis got thrown out at the plate. And there's Park. It's going to be to third, and he goes right to third, and that's going to retire the side. But the Knights score another 3, and that is going to bring the score to the Knights 7, Williamson Trade nothing. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back with you in just a minute. All right, Paul Miller, Tom Davis, FNB Field, here on a Friday afternoon. 7-0 Knights on the second half of a doubleheader.
We
Knights
just made a pitching change.
victorious in the first game.
Interesting delivery. That's that arm slot. That's kind of interesting.
That's still Spadafore out there. And it was third inning of work. Yeah, he comes like a 3/4 delivery.
I don't know why I heard the other coach say pitching change.
Unless he was talking about
Maybe theirs.
their team.
Yeah.
7 earned, and well, probably actually not too many of them were earned, because at this point there are 4 errors on the board for Williamson Trade and 0 hits. Spadafore has faced the minimum to this point. Nice curveball, but too high.
A little too high for this hitter, I guess.
115.
And Spadafore deals. That's going to go to right. It's going to be a tough play, but it's made. Good play there in right field.
That's just trusting the defense right there.
Now batting, number 27.
Fulton with the put out.
Evan Lewis.
Lewis steps in. And quickly one down for Spadafore. Pitch has some excellent movement.
Yeah, tight fastball there, just a little up.
That's also high. Quickly 2-0.
Yeah, it looked like a two-seamer that last pitch. Just kind of ran up and in.
And that's going to be hit. That could fall, and it does, and that's the first base hit.
So they're in the hit column. Williamson Trade. How many hits did they finish last game with? I'm trying to remember.
I believe only 6.
Now batting, number 20. Andrew Williams.
I think they had 6 total base runners, so a walk and a hit batsman would have been 4. But again, you can always go to centralpennknights.com for all the box scores and live stats for all of our games.
That's the plug I was waiting for.
Spadafore high and outside. 1 down, though, so in a 7-run lead. And there goes Lewis. And that's going to be almost into center. Good play there by Mercado.
Yeah, good hops to get up and get that and keep it from squirting into the outfield.
306.
And the 3-0. It's going to be outside.
I don't think that's the count.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just going by the scoreboard.
Right. I don't know what the count is, though.
And that's the one thing the umpires haven't been saying
like
the
it's
count
2-0.
very often.
No. Looks like it's 2-0.
Okay, the 2-0. And there's the strike for Spadafore. 2-1 with 1 out in the top of the third. And that will walk them.
Just leaving the ball up a little bit.
Time when he gets here.
Now batting, 25. Sam Copa.
Copa had a good first game as far as it goes for Williamson. Of course, they were shut out, but Copa did reach base twice and stole a base. Again, this isn't necessarily an official read, but I did want to send a big shout out to the Harrisburg Senators team, their grounds crew, for being so wonderful to us when we come over here and play. And we certainly hope that all of you are out there going to get your tickets for Senators baseball this summer to see the AA Nationals take on teams of the likes like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New York Mets, New York Yankees, and Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, you can always get your tickets at senatorsbaseball.com. So check it out today and make sure to get over to a game. In fact, Tom, they should be opening up here in just a couple of weeks.
I have a question that I should know the answer to. Maybe you know the answer. Did they change who the teams are playing in the minors like they did with the balanced schedule in the big leagues?
I would say probably not, solely because of travel.
Right.
But I will say, in terms of minor leaguers, I'm sure you heard the big news that they have unionized and now have received a collective bargaining agreement to up their salaries by nearly double.
Yeah, some of them are slightly livable salaries now in the low minors. They went from something like 8,000 to like 20,000.
It's all by level. I believe they said the AAA players are now going to get 36 to 38,000.
Yep.
And the pitch from Spadafore, that's going to be outside, and the ball gets away from Park. So only one out, but now second and third as that passed ball gets by Park. Spadafore, can he work out of this jam the same way Kozer did in game one?
He's got two runners in scoring position, needs to bear down here, and that's going to be a looper into right field. Right fielder camps under it. Makes a wild throw, but
so that whole entire sequence there was strange.
Yes.
27 was halfway down the line, had to run back to third to tag, got a horrible jump, and then was thrown out. I mean, he shouldn't, once he wasn't in position to tag, he should have just stayed third. Yeah. With being down 7 runs and threatening, you again cannot make the third out at home, but a heads-up play by the Knights, hitting the cutoff man, getting him out at home, and getting out of here with no runs there in the top of the third. All right, well, we are going to go to the bottom of the third. Knights lead 7-0. Central Penn College Student Government Association is a voice for all students, those living on campus, those studying online, and those returning to continue their education. SGA is here to make your time at Central Penn College the best experience possible. You can contact SGA with any questions or comments by emailing sga@centralpenn.edu. And of course, just as we mentioned earlier, Tom, the SGA will be sponsoring the next film series on May 19th with V for Vendetta. And something we're always looking forward to annually, the Central Penn College Education Foundation Golf Open will be taking place in August. I know that we're very, very much looking forward to that, Tom.
Yes, every year. Usually around August 6th or so, that first week.
August the 11th this year.
And I'm wrong. It's the 11th this year. So within those first 2 weeks.
So you can always go to centralpenn.edu/golf for more information about that. Actually, Tom, what was really interesting about that is sold out last year. Could not even get any more golfers on the course last year, which was the first time that I recall that ever happened. Sandy Box does such a wonderful job with putting together that tournament, from the wonderful lunch to the hot pretzels, soft pretzels going by, and gift bags, and we always get a gift. Really a fun time. Fulton, the big cut, comes up empty. But yeah, check out centralpenn.edu/golf for more information on the Golf Open, and come out and challenge Tom and myself. Big cut there. First strikeout for Williamson Trade as Fulton goes down on strikes.
Now batting, number 25, Angel Mercado.
Mercado steps in. 2 walks, 2 steals, and a score.
Curveball floated around the outside corner there. Gets the call, and we start this at bat 0-1.
Thanks again for everybody tuning in on this Friday afternoon. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself. That's going to be out of play. And it really means a lot to us. We put a lot of time into these broadcasts, and we just thank all of you out there for tuning in, and even all of you watching on demand. It really means a lot to us that we have such a good following here with our sports broadcasts. That's why we keep doing them.
That's right.
The pitch. Inside, Mercado takes a ball. What do you think about Mercado here? He's definitely been sort of a spark plug at the top of this order.
Very scrappy. Oof. Pitcher lost the grip on that one right of his hand.
You know, the Knights have a lot of interesting and compelling situations in their infield. Wise, that I have seen, Wise has not come off the field yet this year. And of course, Owen Zell. But then you got a guy like Mercado, who seems like a middle infield utility type, but also seems like he could probably play some outfield as well with the speed that he has.
He strikes me as an infielder. Back here.
Montero has hit 2 rockets thus far, but has a single steal and a walk. And again, you know, he's got some excellent aluminum on the ball, if you will.
Aluminium.
We're here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 7-inning game here.
Knights currently ahead 7-0.
And that was the score of the first game. So the Knights bats have come alive here. And there goes Montero again with another big hit. And that gets all the way to the wall. Mercado on his horse. He's going to go. Montero to 3rd.
Stand-up triple. And that ball gets thrown away.
And Montero's coming home.
Covering the plate.
And he
And
gets
another
it
run
standing
scored.
up. What a turn of events for Jeff Randy Montero.
We'll run the score to 9
Now
or 8.
batting, number 14, Zach Boyer.
Mercado scored, Montero scored, and that is 9. So the triple, the error, and the run for Montero brings it 9-0. Montero has really played well today, Tom.
He has.
That brings up Boyer, unfortunately, with the bases empty. And he cranks
Turns on
one.
That's
Oh.
going to get to the party pavilion and be out of play.
I was going to say, I hope you didn't park down there.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely pulled that front side open, and pulled the hands in and got to that. A little too quick. Now they're going to try to stay away from him. Not wanting to take the chance that those hands are even quicker.
High and tight. And no sooner do I say that about Nathan Wise does Noah Shadow come out to bat for Wise.
Scoreboard now says the Knights are up 36-0. I can assure you that's not correct, folks.
I don't even know to what extent you can see the scoreboard on the broadcast.
I don't.
And the pitch. I can assure you it is 9-0.
That's a cue shot, and it goes foul.
(9-0) bottom 3. And Boyer right back up the middle. And again, this is the 3rd time we've seen people trying to backhand a ball and have it squirt through.
It's a nice job on his part of waiting back on that curveball and just sending it back to the middle.
But that was just...
Oh yeah, that should have been played. Yes.
Davis looks like he's gonna... Well, Shadow first, Davis on deck.
And they're going to make a pitching change. It looks like it.
Well, the pitcher there motioned to the dugout. I don't know if he injured himself. Looks like Gariantes is going to come in. He pitched last year at Community Night on April 22nd, I believe. This year it'll be April the 21st. And of course, we'll be back here with you on Tuesday for a doubleheader from In the Net at 11 and 1. And it's supposed to be in the 70s. And of course, we'll have our box then, so it won't really even matter. If you've never been to In the Net and you have the opportunity, Tuesday is the only time this year that we're scheduled to play there. There could be makeup games, you never know, but that's the only time scheduled. So again, if you'd like to come out, please join us. That'll be at 11 o'clock, first pitch. Gariantes, the senior, has pitched one time, 1 inning pitched, 7 earned runs.
Knights up 9-0 here. Still nobody out in the inning. And a runner on first.
Ladies and gentlemen, now pitching for Williamson Trade, Vince Gariantes.
Nice to hear Nate doing the PA announcement today. He's been on point with the names.
Yes, he has.
Okay, well then. Central Penn students and alumni, are you looking for your next great internship or job opportunity? The Center for Career Services and Development is partnering with Junior Achievement to give you free access to JA Inspire, a virtual career expo that is running now through June 30th. The exhibit hall features booths from over 60 employers. Each booth includes a description of the company, videos, as well as job openings. You can participate by visiting jascpa.vfairs.com. If you have any questions, please reach out to career services at centralpenn.edu.
Now batting, 54, Noah Sanso.
And Boyer on first. Shadow's first time we've seen him on the broadcast.
Takes the pitch a little away.
One of our new communication students.
Lovely.
As is Kevon Davis on deck. So we are well represented in the comm department here on the baseball team.
2-0 count, quickly.
Gariantes, I remember last year, really struggled. And obviously in his one appearance thus far this season has also struggled. So it's a tough ask here to get him to get these two out. And Shadow down the line.
Crisp line drive. And
that ball goes all the way to the wall. Boyer being waved home. Shadow is going to stay at second for an RBI double for Noah Shadow.
And that will push across the 10th run for the Knights.
In only the third inning. RBI double for Noah Shadow.
Crisp line drive down the left field line there. It was nice.
And Gariantes is still not out of trouble. Still a runner in scoring position for Davis. Davis walked and was hit by a pitch. Did steal a base, got thrown out at home back in the first.
Leaves that pitch up there for a first pitch ball.
Only one out. And Davis still looking for that first base hit.
And unlike in the last game, they're not even trying to keep the runner at second close. At least they didn't on that count.
Quickly 10-0 here in the bottom of the third.
Knights still threatening.
And Gariantes outside. Two balls, one strike for Gariantes facing Davis.
Very ill-advised pickoff attempt.
Especially with Shadow's speed.
Right. And just his overall positioning on the mound there.
Well, you have to turn around and face second.
He didn't quite do that.
No. Gariantes delivers, and
Another
Davis.
hit by pitch for Key.
Hey, 3 times up, 3 times on base. Still
Absolutely.
waiting for that first base hit, though.
She'll take a base any way you can get it.
Looks like Morel is going to come in and pinch hit for Finke. Finke leaves the game 0 for 2, struck out and popped out. And Morel has a shot to keep this inning going.
Number 21, Lionel Morel.
So we started off the inning with a Nick Fulton strikeout, followed by a Mercado walk, a Montero triple and score, a Boyer single. He then scored off Noah Shadow's double, and Davis hit by the pitch. We have first and second. Shadow halfway down the base path.
Floats a changeup in there on the outside corner to get in the strike column.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 10-0. Knights. And Gariantes right back up the box. Shadow will be waved. And that Shadow gets in
11th
safely.
Run. So the Knights take a commanding 11-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. And the struggles for Williamson Trade just continue.
Gariantes has not gotten anyone out since he's come in this ballgame. And Stevens has an opportunity here with 2 on. And Stevens, it's going to be down to third. He's got a shot at a double play, but that gets away.
That's going to allow the runner at second to take third.
Davis is out, but still first and third for Park. Park has hit some, gotten some good aluminum on the ball, if you will.
Yes.
Now batting, number 7, Brady Park.
Well, we'll see what Brady Park's got going on here.
Park singled in the first. Big hit there for, well, fielder's choice by Stevens.
First pitch is down low for a ball.
Fulton stands on deck. We'd be batting around here if we get back to Fulton. And there goes Stevens. No throw.
No throw. Not worth the risk with the runner on third, probably, on that one.
Still only 1 down.
1 down and 2 in scoring position. Knights looking to just pour it on here. They smell blood in the water.
Just off the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. Some people up in the stands, but they're sitting under the covering where we are not. There's only about a dozen people down on the lower bowl, but about 50 people on the upper bowl. Of course, not the ideal weather conditions to be enjoying a game outside, but
No, we typically have a pretty good crowd, but again, the weather was kind of a factor today. It didn't ruin everything, but it definitely was a factor in some people's decisions to come out.
After all time, we just got done talking about how they had 3 games scheduled at Christendom, and how they only got 1 of them in, and it took days for them to even be able to get a game in. So
Right.
On that regard, I guess it's positive that we've gotten these games in, especially playing here at FNB Field. Because we share this field with the Harrisburg Senators, we do have to be cognizant of their schedule, and again, they start here in just a couple of weeks. And Park, it's going to get through, and that will score Morel. Morel scores. Park with the single in the RBI, and it keeps on going.
12th run across now.
Now batting, number 9, Nick Fulton.
Fulton Looks like Blake Myers will step up to the plate.
Blake Myers looking to get in on the fun.
And Myers has an excellent opportunity here.
Number 16, Blake Myers.
So Fulton sits after leading off this inning with a strikeout. Now 12-0 Knights. And here's Blake Myers. 2 down in this inning. Fulton struck out and Stevens grounded into a fielder's choice. But a base hit will score another one. Gariantes outside.
Wisely lays off that first pitch outside.
Blake Myers still looking for his first base hit of the season, as are several Knights.
It's only a matter of time with Myers here.
And Gariantes delivers, and Myers pops it up.
Looks like that will get out of play. With a
About 6 rows
thud.
up.
Yeah, Myers works really hard, just looking for some of those results out there on the field right now. See if he gets a good pitch to hit here.
The 1-1, 2 down, 12-0 Knights. And Myers swings right to the shortstop, but he boots it. And
Puts
he's
the
nobody
second.
there at second, and Myers is going to make it. The shortstop for Williamson Trade is not happy at his double play counterpart, but either way, the Knights push over another run, and still first and second for Chris Howard. Gonna give Myers the RBI there. Howard. Looks like an injury there.
Yeah, is that what that is?
We're gonna sub out for Williamson, and I'm believing he's going over to the trainer.
Number 1, Chris Howard.
Interesting to see Chris Howard. We've seen him on the base paths in the field. This is the first at bat that we've seen him. Chris Howard, another one of our new communication students.
Got a nice crop of students.
We honestly have our largest contingency of on-ground students in our comm department that since in the 10 years I've been here.
That's fantastic.
Again, a special thanks to everybody out there checking us out today on YouTube. We'll be here back with you Tuesday at 11 a.m. And of course, back here on April 18th, 21st, and May 2nd at FNB Field. Ball gets away from the catcher again. 7 errors for Williamson Trade. And you know, when you're in a situation like this, I don't want to call it a heartbreaker because it was still a 7-0 game, but they were competitive.
Yes.
To just make so many mental errors, it's got to be demoralizing for Williamson.
Certainly. Deflating.
Looks like they got that one. Want to see Howard put this ball in play here.
Yeah, still 2 runners on base.
Howard plays short and center. I talked to him a little bit about, at the end of the last game that you and I called, he made a fantastic play. And I asked him about that. And he was saying that he is just so excited to get on the field. Of course, understanding that there are a lot of veterans on this team. So it seems like a lot of the younger players understand that, you know, they might not get a ton of playing time their first year, but the future of this Knights team depends and revolves around these young players coming in.
Right.
You know,
the right way to really bring along some of these young players.
Absolutely. You know, you're going to lose Finke and Stevens and Boyer at the end of the season. Of course, Zell should be back. Boyer, listed as juniors, but he rings up Howard, and that
Mercifully
finally gets him out of this inning. Gariantes struggled to get those last 2 outs, but does so. But the Knights lead 13-0. Hey, Knights Nation, your athletes are in great hands with our athletic trainer, Emily Horn, on the sideline. The sports medicine team at Select Physical Therapy helps your athlete recover from injury and prevent future injury. With convenient locations nearby, care is never far away. go to selectphysicaltherapy.com to find a location near you. And some more information I wanted to pass along. One of our nightly news, very, very important people to our nightly news, Dylan Bowman, has his new film screening coming out. You can RSVP by April the 16th to see Vintage at 6:30 at the Twin Valley Colonnade Theater in Millersburg, PA. You can always go to Fellowship Studios to find out some more information, but please check that out. Really very looking forward to that. And this will be sort of a sneak preview because over the summer, Dylan will be debuting his film on our campus as well. So we're really, really excited for Dylan. I actually filmed some of it at Central Penn College, which I found very interesting. Dylan, an extremely talented filmmaker. Go to Fellowship Studios on YouTube to check out some of his films that he's done previously. And of course, he is also our sports photographer. So if you see any pictures, that's where they're coming from, is Dylan. 13-0.
Looks like we're ready to go here now at the top of the fourth. First pitch is on the way, and that's taken for a strike. Right down Broadway.
I gotta tell you, Spadafore has been impressive. Has only allowed one base hit. And, you know,
Another strike.
at this point, again, I was never a pitcher, so I don't necessarily have that kind of strategy, but at this point, aren't you just throwing strikes on every pitch?
Yeah. Yeah, you really are. Except when you don't.
Just inside. Of course, best of intentions, but
Right.
I know a lot of times pitching is about wasting pitches and changing eye levels, and of course, we get all of that, but when you have a 13-run lead, I would imagine you just
Yep.
throw it over the plate.
Put it in play and use your defense. And that was just foul down the left field line.
No more than a foot foul. Just off of our screen, vantage point.
606! 606!
Again, very impressive are Kozer and Spadafore today, who both had struggled coming into this contest. That's going to be behind him.
Yeah, that ball slipped out of his hand. It might be tough, really tough to throw some of the breaking stuff for these players right now.
Again, Spadafore had allowed 3 earned in 2 1/3 coming into today, whereas Kozer had allowed 12 in 5 coming into today. Of course, that shutout earlier will improve his ERA.
3 straight balls to run the count full, and they've both gone at the hitter or behind the hitter. Fouls that one off. Keep the count full.
The 3-2 here in the top of the 4th, and that struck him out. Oh, what a pitch!
Umpire gives him a call on a really interesting breaking ball choice there. Very effective pitch.
Even from here, it looked like it was going to be a ball, but it just cut back in over the plate, and that strikes out Biankowski. Big pitch there to get the strikeout.
So 1 down now. Knights up 13-0 in the top of the 4th. Chopper right back to the pitcher on a big bounce. And they record the out. So now 2 away.
Quickly 2 down for Spadafore, and I gotta tell you, I'm not sure if the Knights ate their Wheaties this morning or what's going on, but I gotta tell you, the pitching here has just been immaculate, which really bodes well for Tuesday's games at Penn State York, because the bullpen should be fresh, and maybe you're the Xavier Hernandez's of the world not having to pitch today will allow him to start, and Dalton Kohler as well.
They can save some of those bullets for the next game.
What a pitch. So impressed by Spadafore here. Actually really surprised that this has been one of his first opportunities to start a contest.
Yeah, he's looked very good today.
What a
him
pitch that
swinging.
gets away from him. Can Park get him down at first? No one's paying attention. And that should have been a strikeout, but no one was paying
No one was
attention at
covering
first
first.
base.
Those are the mental lapses you really don't like to see because it opens a door.
That should have ended the inning. Unfortunate turn of events there, but I suppose that would be an error.
Yeah,
That was a beautiful pitch
was.
to strike him out.
Breaking ball down and away, got him swinging.
And that's going to go right to the shortstop, and no. And that's one of the issues when you take Wise out there.
Shortstop didn't want to charge that. He just kind of kept backing up on it. And then that last hop just ate him up.
Back-to-back errors for the Knights. Now kind of opening the door here for Williamson Trade. There are 2 outs here.
Comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the right side. 2 fielders giving chase, but that's going to find the pavilion.
Spadafore, 3 strikeouts there thus far. Yeah, and this is what's tough when you bring... Coach Stern's trying to get some different players in there, up 13 runs here at FMB, but that also, you're losing a lot there, right? You got Howard at second. I don't recall that he's played second this year. Again, Shadow has played, but Wise plays the vast majority of games. You know, this has got to be pretty nerve-wracking even up 13.
Oh, yeah. But I guess they need some of the game experience.
Big cut. And quickly 2 strikes. Can Spadafore get out of these 2 errors? There was another reboot of the pitch he struck out.
Started out
Earlier.
the hitter and started breaking back to the plate.
That's a beautiful pitch.
Didn't break enough. Yes, it is.
And he got him. Struck him out.
Got him frozen.
Knights should have gotten out of that inning a little sooner, but 2 errors allowed the Williamson Trade to keep things going. But either way, Spadafore gets out of it, and it's only allowed 2 hits through 4. We're going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Knights lead 13-0. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here with you in just a minute. Totally get it. All right, back here with you at FNB Field. Paul Miller, Tom Davis for the Nightly News Media Club. Of course, we will be back here with you for another doubleheader against Penn State York on Tuesday from In the Net.
And first pitch strike to Kaufman.
And you can always go to centralpennknights.com to check out the stats, the box score from game one, the stats for our current game. And we are here in the bottom of the fourth. Knights have a comfortable 13-point lead.
Nash from left field.
And Kaufman, the single.
So leadoff single, and the Knights are in business again.
Reyes steps in. And there goes Kaufman. Steals a base without a throw. Pleasure to be here with you from FNB Field, home of the Senators. And there's a shot through the hole, and Reyes a single. Kaufman holds at third. Noah Shadow will be on coming up to plate. He had a nice rope single in the last inning as part of a 6-run third. Gariante is really struggling to find, not so much find the plate, but just allowing a lot of hard contact. And that one gets away. Catcher does keep it in front of him. Kaufman on third, Reyes on first. Shadow up to the plate. Davis on deck. Davis reached base 3 times, 2 hit batsmen and a walk. Still looking for that first base hit on the season. And Gariante is high. Last time Gariantes will pitch here, he is a senior for Williamson Trade. This will be the last time we'll see Williamson Trade here at FNB Field. And the strike right down Broadway. Shadow knew that he should have swung at that one. And the pitch, and Shadow. This is going to be a tough play, but does come down with it. And Davis has a shot to get an RBI here. What can Davis do? Again, reached base 3 times today. And there was a good pitch for him to swing at, but laid off. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Remember, this is a 7-inning contest, but there are 10-run rules here that we need to see what's going to happen with that. Davis skies it to right, and the catch is made.
Tagging up from third.
And Kaufman will score.
Run number 14.
Kaufman's had a fantastic season to this point. As one of those new players managing to get some pretty regular playing time. Very impressed not only by him at the plate, but by him in the field as well.
I believe he was my most recent player of the game pick.
Absolutely. And Morrell, fortunately they got around that error. I mean, I guess that's what you would call it. Morrell kind of fell asleep trying to field a passed ball after a strikeout. Of course, if you can still strike out, but if the ball gets away from the catcher, you have to complete the play to first, and Morrell was not covering the bag. But they did get around that. And those are the things, though, too, Tom, like when you're talking about the difference between being an elite team versus just being a good team, it's those kind of plays that really make all the difference.
Yep. The elite teams make all of the required small plays. The routine plays.
Now, the Knights haven't let any of those misfortunes come back to haunt them today, at least. But you have to wonder if some of those things have caused some of the losses earlier in the season. Reyes on first. Morel at the plate.
Comes the pitch.
And he skies that, and this is going to be another tough one. But shortstop under it, and that will do it. All right, we'll go to the top of the fifth with the Knights comfortably ahead by 14. Central Penn ladies who lead, are you ready to shatter the glass ceiling? Register now for our 2023 Women's Leadership Retreat, April 28th through the 30th at Camp Hebron in Halifax. Activities, speakers, workshops, and more. This memorable ladies-only annual event is not to be missed. Register for free at givebutter.com/CPCLead23. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Paul Miller, Tom Davis back here with you from FNB Field. We're going to the top of the fifth. Knights lead 14-0, and Spadafore has pitched really, really well. We might have back-to-back games with the pitchers winning player of the game honors, and I would say if
Back-to-back shutouts.
I would say if he shuts them out, we got to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, how do you make the case for an offensive player, too, when there's been 14 runs scored?
Well, and a lot of different players. I believe almost 20 people have been in this game. All right, Spadafore does allow a single there and gets down.
So leadoff single, solid single to right field.
Just take a quick look at the stats here. Of course, Boyer 2 for 2, 3 runs, 2 RBI. Montero has scored 3 runs. Mercado scored 3 runs. And just sort of all over the place in terms of RBI. Big Blake Myers RBI, big Ryan Stevens RBI, Kevon Davis also knocked in a run. So impressive
You
showing.
also have to figure like where those 7 errors come from, because technically that bases clearing inside the park home run probably was an error, that the outfielder just didn't catch that ball because he was camped under it and it just. But I don't know how they scored, because I don't know. Those 7 errors have to be responsible for some of these runs.
And the pitch. Just high.
We're leaving the count at 1-1. Nope, 1-2.
Spadafore deals. Big cut. Didn't even require the throw to first. 1 down here in the top of the fifth.
Ground ball hit to the right place will end it. That's strike 1.
Well, we're still not entirely sure about the 10-run rule to this point, so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Can Spadafore, and that looks like it hit him.
Yep, got him. Breaking ball.
Similar to Kevon Davis's hit by a pitch earlier.
Yep.
Well, I will say it was nice that generally the rain held off.
Yes. It's been pretty nice the last half hour.
Nice pitch. Spadafore quickly runs it to 0-1. And another.
Strike. Paint on the outside corner.
505, 505.
Just got to aim for that same spot again.
Quickly, 2 strikes.
And either throw it with the same conviction or pull the string on.
Gonna be low and away.
Yep.
204.
1-2 with 1 out. Again, a well-placed ground ball could get them out of this inning. Inside 2-2.
116.
Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Knights again up 14 runs.
And there's a shot to center. And good catch, and they're going to double him
They
up.
did not tag up.
And Howard,
And that will
the put out, and Howard, good play. That throw pulled him off the bag, but managed to come back.
I believe that will do it.
And it appears that that is going to complete this contest here in the 5th inning. The Knights win 2, and they're going to go to 6-10 on the season, having the chance to get to 8-10 with 2 victories on Tuesday, and potentially back into the discussion of the Small College World Series.
These were 2 must-wins, and they won them in dominating fashion, getting 2 shutouts.
And congratulations to Spadafore for winning the Nightly News Player of the Game for another shutout. Jordan Spadafore, the freshman, his best outing of the season, and congratulations to the Knights, winning both parts of this doubleheader. Well, Tom, I can't really say much more than that. The Knights dominate both games. We see great defensive plays, great offensive play, including an inside-the-park home run from Nathan Wise here in Game 2, and just fantastic pitching from Kozer and Spadafore. What are your final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to watch these 2 games today and call them with such dominating pitching performances. I'd never
Outside of the weather.
I had never seen a shutout before, let alone 2 of them back-to-back in such dominating fashion. So big sweep here for the Knights.
Well,
Building some momentum to try to make that playoff push.
Absolutely. Well, again, a special thanks to all of you out there for checking us out and staying here with us on this Friday afternoon. Tom, thank you as always. It's a pleasure to get to work with you, and I'm looking forward to being out on Tuesday at In the Net.
I'll see you there.
Sounds great. All right, our next broadcast will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. at In the Net. You can always check us out at the Nightly News at CPC on YouTube. But otherwise, we're going to get out of here and go enjoy our Friday evening. And I hope all of you do as well. So for Dylan Bowman, Nightly News photographer, for Tom Davis, and for Paul Miller, we will see you again on